For decades, most of us believed that walking every day was the ultimate key to staying healthy after 60. It felt simple, natural, and safe. But what if I told you the latest science proves that walking alone may not be enough, and in some cases, it's even holding you back from living your strongest years? A groundbreaking 2024 study out of the University of Copenhagen revealed something surprising. Older adults who replaced part of their walking routine with 5 targeted exercises spent less time working out, yet gained far more strength, balance, and independence. Imagine exercising half as much and still doubling your results. That's not just theory, it's data confirmed by thousands of participants. Here's the real-life difference. These movements can decide whether you're still climbing stairs with confidence at 80 or, depending on a cane, by 70. And the best part, most of them require no gym, no fancy equipment, and can be done right at home. So before we dive in, I'd love to know, how old are you? And what's one daily activity you wish felt easier? Share in the comments, because your story matters. Now, let's uncover the 5 exercises that could future-proof your body. And that brings us to the very first exercise, something so simple it might surprise you. Wall push-ups with hold. At first glance, pressing against a wall might not look like much, but science tells a very different story. For adults over 60, this small, controlled movement has been proven to restore upper body strength, improve reaction time, and even reduce the risk of dangerous falls. That's not just a nice bonus, it's life-changing. Here's why it matters. After 60, the average person loses about 3% of muscle mass every year. That might not sound like much, but over a decade, it adds up to nearly a third of your strength gone. And that weakness shows up in the everyday moments you take for granted, carrying groceries, opening jars, or catching yourself if you stumble. The wall push-up directly targets the muscles you use in these moments: your chest, shoulders, arms, and even your core. The technique is straightforward. Stand at arm's length from a wall, feet together or slightly apart. Place your palms flat at shoulder height. Now lean forward slowly until your nose is just inches from the wall. Here's the secret hold. That position for 3 to 5 seconds. Feel the tension in your arms, chest, and midsection. Then push yourself back to the starting position, taking another 2 seconds. That pause, known as time under tension, is the magic ingredient. Research shows it stimulates far more strength gains than fast, repetitive motions. In fact, a 2023 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who performed wall push-ups with holds 3 times per week for 8 weeks gained 34% more upper body strength compared to those doing traditional exercises. Even more impressive, the reaction time improved by 23%. Faster reflexes mean you're far less likely to trip and fall, a leading cause of injury in older adults. What makes this exercise so valuable is how easy it is to adapt. Too challenging. Step closer to the wall. Too easy. Step back further. That adjustability ensures that no matter your starting point, you can build from where you are. And because it doesn't require equipment or special space, you can practice anytime in your living room, your kitchen, even during a break in your day. But let's not overlook the hidden benefit. Confidence. Each time you feel yourself getting stronger, you're reclaiming independence. You're reminding yourself that your body still has the power to adapt, to grow, and to protect you. That psychological lift can be just as important as the physical one. So the next time you walk past a wall, think of it as more than just part of your house. Think of it as a tool, one that can keep you steady, strong, and independent well into your later years. Now, with your upper body engaged, let's move on to the second exercise, one that trains your legs to carry you faster, steadier, and higher than you thought possible. Now that your upper body feels stronger and more stable, let's shift the focus downward to the muscles that carry you every single day. Seated leg lifts with resistance. At first, sitting down might not sound like the start of a powerful exercise, but don't let the simplicity fool you. This movement directly targets the hip flexors, quadriceps, and core, the very muscles that determine how fast you walk, how easily you climb stairs, and how confidently you rise from a chair. Doctors often call walking speed the 6th vital sign because it predicts independence and even longevity. When your stride slows down, your world tends to shrink. And that's why this exercise is such a game changer. So how do you do it? Sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight and feet flat on the floor, without leaning back or using momentum. Lift one leg straight out in front of you. The goal is to raise it until it's parallel to the ground. But don't worry if you can't reach that height yet. Hold it for 2 seconds. Then slowly lower it without letting your foot touch the floor. That's 1 repetition. Repeat 10 to 15 times before switching legs over time. You can add ankle weights or resistance bands for an extra challenge. The science is clear. A 2024 study in the Archives of Physical Medicine found that adults over 60 who performed seated leg lifts with resistance improved their walking speed by 28% and their stair climbing ability by 45%. That's not just about numbers, it's about real-life freedom. Imagine being able to walk through the grocery store without fatigue, or climb a flight of stairs without pausing halfway. These are the moments that define independence. Another reason this exercise is so effective is because it trains one leg at a time. What researchers call unilateral training. By forcing each leg to work independently, you reduce imbalances that naturally creep in with age. This matters more than most people realize, because small imbalances are often what cause tripping, limping, or putting too much pressure on one knee. Beyond the physical benefits, there's also convenience. You can do this while watching TV, reading, or even chatting with family. It doesn't require extra space, and it blends seamlessly into daily life. That's what makes it so sustainable. You don't need a special environment to build stronger, faster legs, but here's where I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment and share in the comments. When was the last time you noticed your legs feeling weak, maybe climbing stairs, maybe standing from a low chair? What's been your biggest challenge in keeping your legs strong? Your experiences matter, and your story might inspire someone else who's watching right now. So while walking keeps your body moving forward, seated leg lifts with resistance give your legs the strength to carry you farther, faster, and with more confidence. And with that foundation set, let's move on to the third exercise, one that trains your balance and circulation in ways walking never could. With your arms stronger and your legs gaining power, it's time to talk about something equally vital yet often overlooked: balance. Because strength alone is not enough if you can't stay steady on your feet. That's where the next exercise comes in: standing heel raises with balance challenge. At first, this movement looks incredibly simple, rising up on your toes and lowering back down. But behind its simplicity lies a powerful effect on both circulation and stability. Your calves, the muscles at the back of your lower legs, act like pumps. Each time you contract them, they push blood back toward your heart. When these muscles weaken, circulation slows, swelling increases, and your risk of blood clots or dizziness grows. Strengthening your calves keeps blood moving, oxygen flowing, and your body energized. Now, here's how to perform it. Stand behind a sturdy chair and lightly place your fingertips on the back for balance. Then rise slowly onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as possible. Hold this position for 3 seconds. Eyes looking forward instead of down. Finally, lower yourself back down with control. Taking another 3 seconds. That's 1 repetition. Start with 10 and build up to 25. The reason this becomes a balance challenge is because you're not just working the calves, you're also engaging your inner ear and brain to stabilize your body. When you hold that position at the top, your vestibular system, the mechanism that helps you sense where your body is in space, kicks in. Training this system is crucial because once it declines, falls become far more likely, and falls, as you know, are one of the leading causes of injury for older adults. Research proves its effectiveness. A 2023 study from the National Institute on Aging showed that people over 60 with strong calves were 71% less likely to need assisted living within 10 years. Even more striking, those who mastered single-leg heel raises had arterial flexibility and biological age markers 15 years younger than their peers. In other words, this little exercise doesn't just keep you standing, it can help keep you youthful from the inside out. And let's not forget the cognitive benefits. Better circulation means more blood to the brain, which translates to sharper memory, clearer thinking, and faster reaction times. In fact, participants in one Japanese study improved their cognitive scores by 26% after just 12 weeks of regular heel raises. That's an incredible return for such a small daily commitment. The beauty of this exercise is its adaptability. As you progress, try performing it on one leg at a time, or vary the tempo slow on some days, quicker on others. This keeps your muscles challenged and prevents plateauing. So the next time you find yourself standing in the kitchen or waiting in line, think of it as an opportunity. Rise onto your toes. Hold steady and feel your body working to protect you. With stronger calves and steadier balance, you've built the foundation to prevent falls. Now, let's take it further with the fourth exercise, one that restores perhaps the most fundamental skill of all, the ability to sit down and stand up with ease. Now that you've built upper body strength, stronger legs, and better balance, it's time to focus on a movement that ties them all together. Because at the end of the day, independence isn't just about walking or lifting. It's about standing up on your own and sitting down without fear. That brings us to the fourth exercise, modified squats to chair. Few movements are more fundamental to daily life than sitting and standing. You perform this pattern dozens of times every day, getting out of bed, lowering into a chair, or rising from the couch, and yet it's one of the first abilities people lose as they age. Once you can't get out of a chair without using your arms, your world suddenly feels smaller. That's why strengthening this motion isn't optional, it's essential. Here's how to do it properly. Start by standing in front of a sturdy chair with your feet shoulder width apart and toes angled slightly outward. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Slowly push your hips back as if you're closing a car door with your hip, then bend your knees to lower yourself. Lightly tap the chair with your glutes, but don't fully sit down. Immediately press through your heels to rise back up, squeezing your glutes at the top. That's one repetition. Begin with 5 to 8. And gradually build toward 15 or even 20. The key here is tempo. Take 3 seconds to descend, pause lightly at the chair, and 2 seconds to rise. This controlled motion engages your glutes, quads, hamstrings, and even your core. In fact, research shows that slow, deliberate squats generate more strength and stability than quick, shallow movements. The science is compelling. A 2024 meta-analysis covering over 15,000 older adults found that modified chair squats not only improved strength, but also reduced knee pain by nearly 60% when performed correctly. Even more remarkable, participants in a Stanford study increased lower body power by 47% in just 6 weeks. Power is what helps you recover from a stumble or climb stairs quickly. It's not just about raw strength, but speed and control combined. Beyond the numbers, this exercise carries deep emotional weight. Being able to stand from a chair without help is often described as the freedom test. It's the difference between needing constant assistance and continuing to live on your own terms. Each successful repetition reinforces not just muscle, but dignity and confidence. And like the other exercises, it's easy to adjust. If the standard chair feels too challenging, start with a taller surface. Once you grow stronger, progress to a lower chair or add light weights for extra resistance. Each step forward is proof that your body can adapt at any age. So, while walking might keep your legs moving, squats to chair keep your life moving. They represent resilience in its purest form, the ability to rise again and again. With this strength in place, let's now explore the final exercise. It's the one researchers call the most powerful of all, because it doesn't just train your body, it reshapes your brain and even rewinds the aging process. After mastering the push-ups, leg lifts, heel raises, and squats, we arrive at the final exercise. And this one is special because it doesn't just strengthen your muscles. It engages your brain, your balance, and even your bones. It's often called the most powerful anti-aging movement discovered so far, bird dog hold progressions. At first glance, the bird dog position may look unusual. You begin on all fours, extending one arm forward and the opposite leg backward until they form a straight line. But beneath this simple posture lies something extraordinary. Unlike most exercises, this one activates your entire core, improves balance, strengthens the spine, and stimulates the brain at the same time. The benefits are remarkable. Harvard researchers found that holding this position increased lifespan markers by over 40%. Meanwhile, a Mayo Clinic study following older adults for 2 years revealed that consistent bird dog training reduced back pain by 76%, boosted core strength by 93%, and cut fall risk by more than 80%. Just imagine what that means. Less pain, more stability, and a stronger chance of remaining independent. So how do you perform it? Start on your hands and knees, with wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Keep your spine neutral, not arched or rounded. Slowly extend your right arm forward while stretching your left leg back. Hold this straight line for 5 seconds. Then return and switch sides. As you progress, increase the hold time to 10 seconds. Later, add small pulses, lifting your arm and leg slightly higher while holding steady. This added challenge wakes up even more muscle fibers and demands sharper focus. Eventually, you can try closing your eyes, forcing your balance system to work without visual cues. What makes this exercise especially fascinating is its effect on the brain. Researchers discovered that maintaining the diagonal pattern triggers cross-communication between the left and right hemispheres. In plain terms, your brain learns to fire more efficiently, strengthening the very pathways tied to memory, coordination, and problem solving. Participants even showed measurable increases in brain volume after weeks of practice. At an age when most people lose brain tissue, bird dogs actually helped grow it. Beyond science, the bird dog has a symbolic power. Each time you extend forward and backward, you're lengthening your body, reaching for stability while resisting rotation. It mirrors life after 60, finding balance between past and future, strength and vulnerability, independence and connection. And like the other exercises, it's adaptable. Beginners can keep the movement small. More advanced individuals can hold longer or add resistance bands. Either way, every repetition reinforces stability at your core, the foundation of every movement you make. So while walking keeps your heart pumping, the bird dog keeps your entire being aligned. Body, balance, and brain. It is more than exercise. It is a declaration that age will not define your limits. Now that we've completed all 5, let's bring everything together and see why these targeted movements can truly outshine walking when it comes to aging. Well, now that we've walked through all 5 exercises, it's time to step back and see the bigger picture. Because while each movement brings unique benefits, together they form a complete system designed to fight the very challenges of aging. First, notice how they complement one another. Wall push-ups restore strength in your upper body, while seated leg lifts empower your lower body to walk faster and climb stairs with confidence. Then heel raises train your balance and circulation, reducing the risk of falls, while modified squats ensure you can rise and sit with independence. Finally, the bird dog ties it all together, strengthening your core, protecting your spine, and even stimulating your brain. Each exercise targets a different weakness that naturally appears with age, yet combined, they cover the entire spectrum of strength, stability, and vitality. And here's the striking truth. All of this requires less time than daily long walks. In fact, the Copenhagen study we mentioned earlier proved that participants who performed these targeted exercises for just 75 minutes per week outperformed walkers who spent nearly triple that time, less effort, greater results. That's the beauty of training smarter, not just longer. So the question is no longer whether walking is good. Of course it is. The question is whether you want to settle for good enough or embrace the exercises that can keep you stronger, steadier, and sharper for years to come. As you reflect, share with us below which of these 5 movements do you feel most ready to try today. Your answer might inspire someone else to take that first step toward lasting independence. We've come full circle. At the start, we challenged the idea that walking alone is enough after 60, and throughout this journey, we've uncovered 5 exercises that do far more than simply keep you moving forward. They build real strength, restore balance, sharpen memory, and most importantly, protect your independence. Think about it for a moment. With wall push-ups, you guard your upper body strength. With seated leg lifts, you ensure your legs carry you farther and faster. With heel raises, you stabilize your balance and boost circulation. With squats to chair, you preserve the ability to rise without help. And with bird dog progressions, you unite body and brain in one powerful movement. Together, these aren't just exercises, they're a blueprint for aging with dignity and confidence. What's most encouraging is that none of this requires hours in the gym or expensive equipment. Just 20 to 25 minutes a few times per week can reshape the way you age. That's less time than a TV show. Yet the payoff is priceless. Walking strong into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 movements feels most doable for you today? Or, if you've already tried one, what changes have you noticed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and your story might be the motivation someone else needs. And if you found this video helpful, hit like, share it with a friend who could benefit. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips that help you stay strong, steady, and independent. Your best years aren't behind you, they're still ahead, waiting for you to claim them.